Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Backpacktrader training room for Tuesday, November 30th. One more month to go. Good morning, Amando. Nothing imminent on the YM. Early trade hit its stop, so looking for a new setup. Nothing on the pound Aussie. About another few seconds to market open. Crude oil this morning was kind of messy. It was very messy. Our first trade of the morning could have been this long, but that next bar was just 4 seconds. So unlikely you were able to execute that, and that would have been a full stop out. Then we have another long that gives us a full stop out. A long filtered by the crossover filter. And then another long that is a full stop out. So 2 full stops is a halt on the trade plan, even though we can normally take three trades. Third trade there, market is open, and the YM with a short, possibly tradable. It had to have been fairly quick. And targets 1 and 2. So that's a one and done on the YM session. And stopping out for his small trailer. So our third trade would have been a target 1 and 2 winner on crude, and that would be the end of it if you didn't stop on the 2 losses. But a down session on crude this morning. After those first two trades, it's been fairly successful. And now another full stop out on the short. Unleaded. There's our first bang bang quick break-even trade on heating oil. So that will let us go on to additional trades. Unleaded gas. Wow. Not much going on. Soybeans in the short from back at 747. Did trigger back in, finding resistance at the 50 EMA, which is good. We need 1224.75 for target. So way back here to our 9 o'clock start time. Same situation as with crude this morning. Initial trade was just 2 seconds on that bar, so not executable on the short, even though it was very successful. The long triggered in, meandered about, survived the first stop and reverse by 1 tick. Our adjustment is 4 ticks. Remember, on unleaded plus key level would have put us at 54. Got as low as 55. That short would have been a full stop out, but then we do stop and reverse on this short, and then that meanders about, and we get a stop and reverse long that blasts to its target 2, its target 3, stop at 98, and stops out at 98.04. Wow, what a change in crude and unleaded in just the last few weeks. Good morning, Paul. Good morning, Pamela. Crude coming down from up in the mid 80s to now in the mid 60s. Unleaded from in the, I think it was into the 230s, 240s, and now back down under $2 a gallon at wholesale. But anyway, solid target 2 and a partial, probably not positive with 2 stop and reverses in there. So I'm going to assume we need this next trade, which also goes to target 2, and it's part way from between target 1 and target 2. Looks like 98.34. So that one definitely should get us positive. So unleaded gas is positive. The YM was one and done on the short. The long actually turned out to be an even better trade after that, hitting all 4 targets and actually trailing up beyond target 4. But that would not have been a trade plan trade. And now I'm successful shorts. Spotlight being very successful on the YM this morning. And soybeans stopped out on the short. And we now have a potential for a white short. You have to get a crossover to get the white trade. The cyan line has to cross below the yellow line, which looks like it will do if we get a down close on this bar. And there's our trade. It's going to be a get in sync, and it doesn't look like we haven't come back to the entry yet. 1229.50 for the entry, and 1227.25 is money management. So looking to get back to our entry at 1229.50 before we get down to 27.25 on soybeans. And heating oil heating up. Second long trade is another break even. We don't get into the third long trade, and the subsequent short trade hits target 3. So that's the third winning trade. Good morning, Tawana, and good morning, Ron. And our first trade of the morning on the pound Aussie at 86.61, allowing 2 pips of spread, 86.63 for the order for the long entry. Count for stops on the buy side. Heating oil stop now at 21,001, turning into a nice trade. And good morning, Miles. And we are in the pound Aussie long. So the YM is POQ. Looks like, and we just triggered into the soybeans trade, as well as the pound Aussie, and trailing down now at 2.0986 for the stop on the heating oil. $0.976 for heating oil. Soybeans tested the 50 EMA again, and now coming down. See if that will give us that move down we need to get to 1227.25. $0.961 now for heating oil. And we'll go back for catapult on unleaded here in a few minutes. That's an 845 start. And do we have a V reversal coming on pound Aussie? $0.936 now for the unleaded stop, and target one on soybeans. Now we lost. That was a large loss on the first trade, so it's probably going to take a couple of trades unless we get a big runner on this one to get us positive on soybeans. There's target two. Soybeans with 9 and 14, 23. Target 3 is 20, would be 43. Our risk on the first trade was 16 ticks times 4 positions is 64. So we're down 64. So we'd be 43 positive. We'd be down 21 if we get to target 3. So we'll need to get the trailer to 1 tick beyond target 3 to break even on that trade. There's our 8:45 start time. So our first trade is a full long short. Second trade is at least a target 3. Yeah, is a target 3 and plus a tick or 2. Third trade is another target 3 and a good, nice trailer going beyond target, well beyond target 4. Fourth trade is another successful trade on the short. That's 1 loss and 3 wins. Another successful short. Did we get? Yeah, looks like we just touched our target. That's close enough. I'd be taking profit. Target 3 was 97.44, and we got as low as, and we hit it on the nose, and a tick on the trailer. So 4 wins, and long that's a full loss, then a break-even long. So that gets us through our session on unleaded. Winning session there. So that's target 3 achieved on soybeans. Stop now at 28.25. All right, let's take a look in and see what the micro ES catapult is doing. Early trade, so still flat. 8:35 Central start time, 9:35 Eastern, which is what my chart timestamps are. So nothing there. So pound Aussie long. Soybeans is short. Soybeans stop at 12.27. We need to get to 1224.25 for break even. 1224 even to get positive on the session for soybeans. $10 a.m. crude mini session coming up in about 10 minutes. Any questions this morning? YM is POQ. Crude is done pending the 10 a.m. session. Unleaded is done on both Spotlight and Catapult. Heating oil stopped out of the short finally. At 9:20:0926. And that was also an entry into a long that hit target 3 and trailed up for looks like 10 or 11 ticks. And another target 3 and plus a tick. Heating oil definitely is done. So our active charts are the pound Aussie and soybeans. And there is a short on the micro ES. That's a big trade. Looks like almost 10 points. To target 1. Yep, 9 3/4 points to target 1. 11 1/4 point risk. So that's a 7 contracts on the micro for a $20,000 account. That's a big trade. So probably 2 contracts each. It targets 1 and 2, 1 at 3, 1 at 4, and 1 trail if you're following the trade plan for all 5 positions in a trailer, or all 4 positions in a trailer. Soybean stop still at 1227. That will leave us just 2 3/4 points down. 11 ticks to be gained on the subsequent trade. But still in the trade. Actually, if we get a down bar, a bar that closes below the balance line here, that would get us down within just 6 ticks, it looks like. Actually, less than that, 5 ticks. Close below the balance line would bring the stock down to, well, 29.50 at the moment. Welcome to those that joined us a few minutes late. Crude oil with a tough session this morning. The 9 a.m. session was a losing session. Unleaded gas working out after 3 trades, and the YM was one and done. Heating oil, very strong moves this morning. Numerous wins there, as well as on the for heating oil. Catapult unleaded the same. Soybeans took a full loss on a fairly large trade, and now not quite as big a trade, but hitting all 3 targets and trailing down. Oh, and I think yeah, we're not going to close below the balance line on this bar. We're going to close on it. So stop should stay where it is. All right, I think I might be back now. Can you hear me? Okay, it should be coming back, Ron. I assume since you say no video, that you can hear me now. I lost power, and so was just waiting for everything to come back up. You should have charts back up now. Yeah, I lost power momentarily. The computer stayed up, but unfortunately my internet connection went down. So just had to wait for that to slide back up. But not much happened in that time. Looks. All right. And we are in the 10 a.m. crude session. All right. So let's see where we are with crude. Looks like and I'm still getting all the data. The data is getting reconnected and so forth. So things are a little slow yet. But I believe we should be in sync with this long. Yeah, I'm waiting for things to completely get back in sync now. All right. All right, what do we got? And looks like we've hit money management. And the stop. So we got a 1 tick break even on that crude trade. And looking for the next setup. And the one data is still loading, so that's why the pound Aussie chart is not back up yet. Now, micro ES, that trade set up at 10 o'clock. I would have gone ahead and taken that. I'll typically give it 1 bar to trigger in. And that did go to target 1. And there is a new long. Looks like it might not have been tradable, and with the data slowdown that I'm getting, it certainly would not have been. Here we are back again. Looks like that should have been tradable. A fairly long duration bar. Just don't know what the interior of it looks like. Oops. And there's a splat for me. But that's just catching up after the outage. That looks like it should have been tradable, and that's target 1. So a one and done session, or two and done session for the 10 a.m. mini session. And it looks like soybeans stopped out, picked up a long trade that went target 1, 2, and 3. So that's going to be POQ for soybeans. Stopped out at 12.27. We picked up a long trade at 27.25 that did trigger in on the pullback. And then off to the races for all three targets, and now at 29.50 for the trailer. So that will definitely get us into positive territory there. 67.87 for the crude stop. I think I might bring that down to 84, try to stay in, get it away from that swing level that it just. And it looks like pound Aussie trade stopped out, even though data hasn't been restored. It looks like the trade did hit stop, because the stop has executed on my system. And we can take a look at that when the charts come back. That chart comes back up. Now 67.89 for the trailer on crude. I don't think it's worth a 5-tick adjustment. 67.93 and stopping out at 67.93. So that completes that. Pound Aussie is done. 12.31 even for the soybean stop. That is in its POQ trade. Micro ES stop at 32.75. That's possible. I'm just, the computer's trying to catch up at the moment with trying to update all of the charts that I have running, and still trying to reload the data on currencies. It's also possible there's a lag in the transmission on Facebook. Let's, yeah, my monitor is my monitor on Facebook is 17 minutes slow. So okay, yeah, crude did stop out. So yeah, there's our pound Aussie data that did stop out. So it looks like we're back in business, and looks like a stop out on soybeans as well. Yeah, we got down and touched the stop at 12:31. So and there it goes through it. So that still getting some lag on my data, but that looks like all of the charts, unless there are questions this morning. There's not really anything else to look at. Well, let's see. There is one thing. Let's see if we got anything on bean oil. Troy hasn't covered that in the room in a few days. So 8:30 Central start is right here. Long gives us a break even. A partial loss on the short. We did activate the trailer, but it hadn't gotten to break even yet, and now in the long. But on a one and done, that the break even long would be the trade. So not a lot there. All right, folks. We're almost to the 1 hour mark. And everything is done unless there are questions. We'll come back and do this again tomorrow. Troy will be in for a regular Wednesday session, and for a crude oil inventory report session at 10:30. Regular session at 9:30. Inventory report session at 10:30. Most welcome, folks. Let's not be too much lag. See everybody tomorrow then. Have a good afternoon and good luck with tomorrow's trades.